All right. I'm here, folks. I'm here. Hey, everybody. How you doing today? Let's see who's in here. Hi, Tom. Hi, Anna. Hi, Jeremy. Let's see. Well, let's see. We'll get there. Hi, Carmen. Hi, Carol. Hi, Elise. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good crowd. Good crowd. Let me shut this phone off so it won't disturb us. For some strange reason, it's not, the do not disturb is not working right. You know how many times I've got woke up in the middle of the night and it's set. I shut it off at night because when it goes off and it makes a little noise, Mia starts barking. So I don't know why at night it's not working. So, y'all ready for today? My brain fart the other day really wasn't a brain fart. I was trying to do both techniques at the same time. Just saying, they're that closely related. I'm going to show you that today. I'm also going to show you all how to check your tension today. And I'm also going to show you how to add thread. Now, the latter two things, you're going to need to know. Now, these joins, if you choose you don't want to do them, that's fine. It's dealer's preference, so to speak. So, but it's fun. It's fun learning new things. So, y'all got any questions from the other day? Elise has got an ad. Yeah, I put it on as conservative. So, hopefully, they will be conservative this week. They didn't listen to me too well last week. Is the sound okay? I'm not as tired today as I was the other day. And I put my old glasses on today. Hi, Angel. Those other glasses were giving me a headache. I have tried every which way from sundown to wear them, and I can't see squat through them. So I just pulled out my old glasses, put new nose pieces on it, and said, yeah, I'm wearing these. Yeah, I can imagine, Carmen. When we have sick relatives and we have to take care of them, it's a strain like no other. It physically, mentally exhausts you just getting out of the bed to do what you need to do for the ailing patient. And that is the hardest things to do. So we may glitch. We got some wind and there's sunspots going on out there. So, yeah. And I got news for y'all. Mental exhaustion is worse than physical exhaustion. Many, let's see if we can get past the tongue. Mental exhaustion strains the entire body because it zaps the brain. And since our brains work everything in our bodies, it drains the rest of the body. So mental exhaustion is not easy to deal with. Hi, Pam. And when you're dealing with loved ones you're taking care of, that's the first thing that gets depleted. So, for those of you doing that, please take time for yourself. Your loved one would not want you down because of their sickness. Trust me, you're more good to them if you're rested than if not. I had to find that out the hard way. Awesome. She'll give me a ring when she gets it. Thank you, Elise. I know she's going to love it. She collects cards that have tatting in them. And what she does with the tatting, I don't know, but it finds new homes. I know back when she did the quilts for Palmetto, some of those tats that were loose tats, she included on the quilts in the students' honor, you know? So I don't know what she's doing with them now, but knowing Georgia, she's got somewhere she's going to put them so that she can just sit there and watch them. My husband has the dropsies. He's had it for 3 days now. Me and I, we just watch out for our toes. Oh. But yeah, what I did the other day was bonehead. My nose is itching again. Why is it? It is sunny here. It is in the 80s currently. We are supposed to get up in the 90s tomorrow. So, yeah, probably allergies. I've been eating allergy medicine. I can't take my night medicine, and when I get up, my head feels like it's this big around. And it takes a while for my morning meds to kick in and clear everything up. Then I'm left with this itchy nose thing. So, and with all the packing and stuff that we're doing, it's like, yeah, it's a mess. Because I'm stirring stuff that probably hadn't moved in months. I clean house, but you can't get it all. But this pack up is different because we're going to a permanent place. I have to make sure everything is on the rig and locked down that we're going to use for at least the next month, so that when we get up to where we're going, then we can turn around next month and come clean out the storage unit. As you can tell, my husband just went out the door. Reflection on the TV or on the refrigerator. We wallpapered the refrigerator. I got tired of the ugly gray refrigerator. Karen's got rainy, dark, cold afternoon. I would like a little rain to cool things off. I'm running 3 air conditioners currently, but I got up to having to turn on the heat this morning. So yeah, no fun. No fun at all. So I am thinking, folks, before I forget, taking next week off. We've got to go over to storage, and I got to go over there and help him. And we're going to be packing stuff that we need and digging through and getting stuff out that we're going to need at the new place. Stuff we normally, if we need it, just run over and get it. So, you know, we're going to go over there, get stuff out of there, get it packed in the truck so that we can bring it here. Okay, come here. She's wanting to say hello, folks. Come on. Come on. You want to show them you went to the beauty shop? Come on. All right. Okay. She went to the beauty shop and she got her hair cut. She got a pretty new bow that has a little teddy bear. That's the bow that comes with her collar. And this is the one that they gave her. Here, raise up. See? Isn't that cute? Her little bow tie. Look at that. They're saying hello, Miss Mia. They're saying hello. But she got her hair cut. She likes going to the beauty shop. And then she sleeps for the rest of the day. She's my baby. Daddy be back in a minute and you can smell all the packages, okay? Yeah, it's the last bit of the orders coming in for stuff we're going to need because we don't know where things are. Oh, she struts when she comes home from the groomers. It's like, look at me. I'm pretty. She's so funny. And there's Dad. Do you not find them?
No, she's not up there.
Or you're going to have to find where they're at. He's trying to pick up packages and they got them inside. Hi, Cat. They got them inside the office and they're closed right now. So, yeah, it may be a while. All right, come get her, Dad. Get the love bug. She's ready for Daddy. All right, turn around. Here you go. Oh, Daddy. There. All right. She's with Daddy now. She'll sit in his lap for a while. Let me see. What do we got? What do we got? I see a lot of writing. Anyway, I'm thinking about taking next week off so we can get some stuff done over in storage. And during that time, I want you to practice these techniques, the ones that I've showed you last Tuesday and today. Then when we come back, I've got 2 really fun patterns we're going to work on. Okay, they're Easter patterns. Both of them's an Easter egg, but it's a skill test. Okay, it will test your skills. All righty. So I want you to practice, practice, practice. Practice your tension, practice everything, because you'll want this in these Tatting chats. If you like the Tatting chats, okay, then I will get some public Tatting chats and do them in regular class, as well as right with the, we'll still do the paid patterns private, but we'll also do Tatting chats that are public patterns, and we'll go with that. Okay, my ear's itching. Who's coming to see me? But we'll do that, and we'll get you all set up, ready to rock and roll. But you got to learn these techniques, and you got to practice, practice, practice. I want you to practice as much as you can. Send in your samples. If you need, direction in something that you're missing or whatever, I can give you the direction. All right? Did I miss Silver, or is Cat? Are you Silver? Ha ha ha. Nope, I see her. Silver's up there. Hi, Silver. I missed you. All right. So with that said, anybody have any questions about Tuesday's class other than the flubub that I did? Because I'm going to fix the flubub, and I'm going to show you why I made that flubub. I should have never taught that technique, as tired as I was, because I made the mistake that you all will make several times. I'm warning you in advance. You will make this mistake several times. I've been doing these techniques for over 20 years. I'm still making the same mistake. I don't learn. I try, but I don't. Smack the hands. We still got about 10 more minutes. Hi, Janella. It's a test of your skills, Elise, and that's all. Okay, I want to see what we need to hone in on before we start the Tatting chat. Because the last thing we want is, in the middle of the Tatting chat, have to learn something new. If you're familiarized with the technique, as you get through the Tatting chat, you'll tighten up and hone in the skill. Okay, but I need to know before we get to the Tatting chat what it is I need to show you that we need to hone in on specifically. Okay, so we can get ahead of the game before we start. That's what this is all about, because you want to be your best. Now, I'm not saying you are going to be a Karen Cabrera or a Martha S. Okay, I'm saying you're going to be yourself in your tatting, and you're going to be better than you are today. That's all I'm guaranteeing, is you're going to be better than you are today when it comes to the Tatting chat. Any new students in here today? I mean, we are talking beginners. If there is, I need to show you how to do the double stitch. That is the only stitch in tatting. It's what we do with that stitch to make the beautiful stuff we make. So if there's any beginners, give me a thumbs up, a hand wave or something. We do have emoticons that you can use. Tom's #1 today, Anna. He beat you and Jeremy both. Oopsie. Now the video may freeze because there are sunspots going on. It will catch up. When you do the replay, the program that I use fixes all that. Just remember the replay will be up today, but the chat will not go up until tomorrow. YouTube wants to make sure we're not soliciting for certain things that are illegal. And they also want to make sure that we're teaching actual educatable courses. That way they don't climb our backside for the tools we use. Hi, Teresa. Glad you made it. We got 7 minutes for class starts. We could start a little early. Hi, Brenda. We got our stragglers coming in. Derby may come in today. I don't know. I know she needs your prayers. So y'all put her in your prayers. She's got some surgeries and stuff coming up. And we need to keep her in prayer. She's been through the gamut. Well, hello. Let me see if I can remember. Jeannie or Jean? It's one of the two. I'm trying. I really am. My brain is just so full of stuff. I need to get the garbage out. It don't fall out on its own. I did it. I did it. Yes. It gets better. I'm surprised how many of you all that I can pick up with your nicknames. And, well, it's because I've been teaching these classes, 6 years now? And some of you were in the classes back when Georgia was teaching them. So, yeah, that helped. But back when it was Georgia's, we used our names. Some people use their own, pen name, but we used our main names more than not. I think a lot of them, I know I did when we first came in because we weren't sure of the water, we'd come in under an assumed name, okay, a pseudo name. And then after we was in there one class, it was, yeah, I'm this person, You're a writer. What kind of books do you write? Melinda, hello. Any good novels? I do like to read. I really do. I don't like murder mysteries and stuff like that. I'm more of a comedic type person. Something that makes me feel good and knowledge. It has to be knowledge based or feel good. Oh, wow. Fascinating. Love to hear more. Now, I used to watch Dark Shadows as a kid. Yes, I'm dating myself. but most people know how old I am. I'm a vintage model. Just saying. All right, I guess we can get a start on things. For those of you that weren't here earlier, I have a confession. Oh, you went to NASA for the zero gravity program and met a bunch of astronauts? Now that is cool. That is really cool. Yeah, I did too. Karen, I'm right there with you on that. I watched that as a kid. God, I'm old. So, but yeah, that is cool, Jeannie. That is really cool. All right, let's get started. Some of you weren't here when I was telling what we was going to do today and what's coming up. Today, I'm going to teach you the Catherine wheel join and the Blipless join. And you are going to see the blub that I did Tuesday and why I did it, because it's a pitfall you're going to fall into right along with me. Okay? And they are so close in the way the technique is done, it's really easy to get confused. Okay? And you have to think it through. I, to this day, still have to watch my videos. Okay? But my videos are out there for you guys too. View them. Okay? Your teacher does too. All right? And if I don't have a video on it, I'll go hunt for one. And I will look for one that explains the technique thoroughly. And I will list that person as a resource on our YouTube channel list. And it's under resources. So, I don't need to make every video for you guys. There are a lot of people that put videos out that are fascinating and fantastic tatters. Okay. So visit them, get other aspects on things. Mine is not the only one. Never has been, never will be. Okay. So I encourage you, look at other people's videos, get a second opinion. Something may click that works for you. Okay. Okay. The Catherine wheel join is the hardest for Jeannie to remember. So she's looking forward to it. And I got news for you. It's really easy to remember, but it's so easy to screw up. Okay. And when I get through showing you this, you are going to see these two techniques are virtually the same. Okay. They do the same thing. All right. So I'm going to show you that for the beginners. How many beginners do we have that are brand spanking new to tatting? You got one of these things, these little plastic tools here with some thread on it, and you're saying, okay, now what do I do with this thing? Or you got a set of needles and they come in a little pack like this, and you're saying, okay, I got this. Am I supposed to put my eyeballs out or make skewers? Okay. If you're that new, let me know so that I can show you how to use those tools. Today, these techniques can be done both shuttle and needle. Okay. I'm not going to show either one of them with needle. There's a reason I'm not, because it takes so much time with these two techniques on needle that needle tatters, if you all put yourself through that torture, I have a video up that will torture you and you can do it. It's step by step, just like I was showing. If I'm showing you here, it's step by step. Now, if you want to torture yourself to do this, knock yourself out. Otherwise, stick with regular rings and chains when it comes to a technique like this. Okay? Yes, they are interchangeable. The only difference is the Catherine wheel join is made for an onion ring. Okay? The Blipless join is not. That is your difference. The Blipless join works on regular joins. Okay, like up join and down join. That's what it's for. The Catherine wheel join is for onion rings. Now, that tell you how often you're going to be using them? Hi, Aurora. How you doing today? my buddy. But yeah, they are interchangeable to an extent. They both hide that blip. That's what they do together. Okay. And I'm going to show you what I mean by the blip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this thing down below us and we're going to check out these samples I've got on the desk. All right. Now, let me make sure I get everything in screenshot. Now let's zoom in a little bit. Let me see if y'all can see that. Switch over to my YouTubes. There we go. All right. Now, we're going to start with Catherine wheel join. Now, this is a Catherine wheel join. This is a blipless join. Okay? This is a regular join. Let me move these out of the way. Okay? Now, the difference between the three, you're fixing to find out. This is a regular join, and when you turn it over, you see that blip of color? There are tatters that can't stand it. They don't like it because they see that other color. And when you tat two color tatting, you're going to have a blip. It's just a fact of life. But there are tatters that don't like that. Now, you can sit there and you can fidget with it till the cows come home. You're still going to have a little blip. Nothing you can do to prevent it using regular joins. However, the Catherine wheel join, this is an onion ring. You see there's no color blip. On the back side, there is no color blip to show where the blue thread is. This is a blipless join. Again, all you see is the actual picot coming down to grab another picot. Okay, you don't see the blip of color breaking through on the yellow. There you go. That's your difference. One is for regular joins and one is for Catherine wheel joins. Now, they are so closely related that you are going to get confused between the two. This I can guarantee you. I can write you a check on it. Okay? We're going to do a Catherine wheel join first. We're not going to do the blipless join. Not yet. I want to show you the Catherine wheel. This is the problem I had when I taught it Tuesday. I was trying to do this join using this technique. And it wasn't working because they're that closely related. Now, as you can see, I tatted this up this morning. This is a regular ring and a chain coming across. Now, when you come down here at the base on the back, you are going to get a little color blip here if you don't get your stitches tight. Hi, Tammy. Nice you can make it today. On the other side, there is no color blip. Okay? This is not the best onion ring join. I'm just telling you. Hi, Kathleen. But it shows you that it's strictly onion ring. What you want to look at is the join up here, not at the base. Okay? The join up here, there is no blips of color where that join is. That's a piece of green fuzz. Yeah, that's green fuzz. That's one of those fuzzy ones. It comes with fur. So, that said, what I did is I did the Catherine wheel join, the Catherine wheel, okay, or the onion ring, and then I come off with a chain and another ring. Well, if you will notice, this white one shows it in detail. Okay, let me show you. Right here. When you finish this first onion ring and you come off this chain over here, you're going to go and you're going to do your onion ring. Well, when you come back around, you're going to have a crossover here. When you have a crossover, let me get in the shot here. Am I in the shot? No. Let it catch up. When you do the crossover, you're going to have this white coming across. And it's going to look like your chains are whirling like this, okay? And then on the other side, you can really see the detail of the chain. You're going up, you're coming around and down. And it makes it look like the chains are doing the curlicues. Okay? So with that said, that's what we're doing now. So first thing you want to do is tat a ring. Give yourself something to hold on to. You got to have something to hold on to. Wrong side. Let's try it on the right side. We're working with regular ring and a regular chain. Once you get your chain and your ring done, adjust, make sure everything's like you want it, and reverse your work. Okay? Once you reverse your work, you wrap your loom for a chain. You get shuttle 1, which is the clear shuttle with the yellow thread. Okay? And you start putting on double stitches. Now this is done. Catherine will join. You need to do them in traditional tatting. First half, second half on both rings and chains. Reason being, it looks better. It's more pronounced and it's nicer looking. Okay, so we're going to go 1 double stitch. Now this ring has, let's count them off. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double stitches. So we're going to start with 5 double stitches. Going 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I'm fixing to show you why with onion rings you have to graduate out. You have to add in 1 to 2 double stitches, sometimes more, on an onion ring to graduate to come over to that picot. You want this last double stitch to lay right beside that picot. Most patterns will give you a stitch count. Now, if you're a tight tatter, stitches may be less. Stitches may be more, depending on your personal tension. That can change. So double check. Don't fall for the trap of, oh, they said do 12, and you get 12, and you still got enough room for 2 more stitches. Put them in. Just remember them on the other side. Because this stitch count around the onion ring doesn't change anything. Okay? You're just encasing the ring. So, that said, we could do for 1, maybe 2. So let's put 1 more double stitch in. Okay, and we're going to test it again. Come on over. Well, as you can see, we still aren't right next to it. So let's put another one in. That would be 7 double stitches. Now let's see if she lays up there. She does. She's right next to our picot. Can y'all see that? Let me get it up here for you. You see the double stitches laying right next to that picot. That's what you want. Okay? Now, when you get to this point, lay that down. You grab your crochet hook. You fix up your pinch the way you want your pinch to be. And this is hard as heck to get it right, okay? Work with it. You want it right. You want your stitches to lay to the outside of your ring. You want shuttle 1 thread to lay right behind that picot. When you go through the picot, go under shuttle 1 thread. Okay? Grab shuttle 2 thread and pull it through. Okay? Once you get it pulled through, get the twisties out of it and hook it on that finger, folks. Don't let it slip back through. Now, remove all the goodies off this hand, except for that loop. Bring it knuckle to nail up through that loop. Lay it down. Put this one over here, get it out of your way. Now, what you're going to do is reach back here and you're going to pull that thread. And you keep pulling, let it pull from that shuttle till it pops back through. Y'all see that? It popped back through back here. Give me a thumbs up if you saw it before I go any further so I can pull it back through and show it again. I'll wait patiently. Let me know you saw the pop, okay? You can feel it in your hands in the pinch when it does that. So, thumbs up. All right, Kathleen got it. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? We got one thumbs up. Got two. I'm a looking. Yep, there we go. We got it. All right, now what you're going to do, you're going to take that crochet hook. You grab that thread. That knot that just popped out the side, you put that on your finger. Now you want to tighten all this back up before you go too much further. All right, and you see this little thread here? It's going to set right where it's sitting because you're going to tat over that. Hi, Bonnie. So you're going to do this. You're going to work it all together. Okay? Work all this together. And the next part of this is take that shuttle, run it down. Ready? You're going to start tightening it up. Do it slow. When your thread starts to twisting, work it out. Don't let it twist. You want it to come out like a double stitch. And it will as you work it. It's fiddly, folks. It is fiddly. And you just take your time fiddling. Once you get it in there, you tighten it up. Okay? Tighten it up and you will see. I'm bringing it up. You see the double stitch? There you go. You just did a Catherine wheel join. Everybody get that? If not, I'll take it out. We'll do it again. But when you flip it over, there's no color blip. Do you see how that works? And when you're finished with that, you're going to tat your 7 double stitches right down this side here, and you'll do another Catherine wheel join at the base. Then you reverse your work and you put your chain in. Or no, you don't reverse your work. Sorry, we're working on a chain. Excuse me. The other one we work. See how you can get confused? Okay, you come down here, the base of this ring with 7 double stitches. You join right here. Then you just continue with this chain. Okay, but you're going to continue it the other way. It'll go the other way. Okay, so that's your Catherine wheel join. So everybody's got it. So now that you know how to do a Catherine wheel join, okay, it is time we do the Blipless join. So there's no colored blips. With that, we will grab red thread. Will that show on that green? No, we don't want that. How about purple, folks? I got some purple. Want some purple? We want something that's going to show on this. And we're going to do it one shuttle, okay? Because we're going to add a ring there. So I can show you how to do this. And you are about to flip your lid because these suckers are so related. They're first cousins, I'm telling you. All right. Now we're going to put 5 double stitches. We're going to work a ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're only using one shuttle. Okay. Oh, Elise, you need me to do that other one again? All right, we'll do it again before I go into it. The rest of you tat up your 5. Okay? Because I want you to be sure you have it. And y'all write down the timestamp if you need to. I'm trying to figure out how to get the timestamps in for y'all. All right, let me take it out. to take it out, you just reverse what you just did. Okay. Put that on there. And you need tension to take it out, just like you do to put it in. And just back it out the same way you went in. Okay. I got news for you. You pull this thing out about 3 times, you've got it. You got to watch from the beginning. All right. Monica, I'm fixing to show you. We're going to do this Catherine rule join. You've got a ring, okay? And you're going to run a chain. You're going to reverse your work, run the chain. You're going to measure your chain to make sure your double stitch on this chain, the last one, lines up right beside that picot. Hi, Mavis. That's all right, Mavis. I'm just now doing the demo, okay? Pay very close attention to what I'm saying. And then remember, you can go back and watch this. You're going to tat a chain. After this ring, you reverse your work. You're going to tat a chain to where your double stitches, and you are going to have to increase 2, possibly more double stitches, or even less, depending on the tension you have. Okay? So you want to tat a chain that brings your double stitches right up next to that picot. It's going to lay right there beside that picot. When you do that and you got it ready, you lay this shuttle 1 thread, wrong with it, shuttle 1 thread, you lay it behind that picot and put it in the pinch. You don't want it in your way, okay? Because at this point, we're working with shuttle 2. You take your crochet hook, you run it through the picot under shuttle 1 thread and lay the thread back. Wrap your hand for chain and grab your thread. Pull it through. Okay, loosen up on it. If it's giving you fits, a thicker thread does that. When you're working with smaller threads, you don't have that problem. Y'all see how I've got it on my hand? Y'all see this in between right here? You see that? That is shuttle 1 thread. That's where it's supposed to be, folks. If it's straying in the back or it's straying in the front, it's in the wrong spot. You'll want it right between the 2. Okay? Now, what you're going to do is take shuttle 2. Shuttle 1 goes over here and gets out of your way. Get it out of the way. Take shuttle 2. Go up. Knuckles to nails on that loop. Y'all wait just a second. Dentist door. Give her to me. Bring her here. She's vicious. She's going to eat whoever's at the front door. Hey, 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 hey. Hold up. Oh, shield there. Oh, piercing my ears.
I was up there once. But we seen it was time.
Packages came. Just sit them right there and let her sniff them. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Go. Sorry about that, folks. She can. Yeah. It's got to pass Mia. Anyway, now that we've got it, you drop shuttle 2. You grab the thread in the back. And what you're going to do is you're going to pop that back through that picot. When it pops through, you're ready for step 2. Make sure that thread gets in the pinch. Hold everything tight. Grab this thread. I want to stay in camera shot. Take the slack out. Okay. And work that over as the first half of the double stitch. Hi, Susan. Okay. Once you get that, take your shuttle and go nail to knuckle. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to close it. And it's going to twist. Try not to let it twist because the Whole thing in a nutshell is to make a double stitch. Once you get it down, tighten it up, tighten your double stitch in, and that's what you have. That is a Catherine wheel join. I know, she's so vicious, isn't she? We take her out when we walk her, and she just barks at everybody to let them know she's out there. And I say, yeah, she's a Doberman today, but yesterday she was a German Shepherd. They get a kick out of that. All right, does everybody have that now? That is your Catherine wheel join. Now we're going to move on to the blipless join. Now, the blipless join is the easy join, but it's still difficult. All right. So with this, we've tatted up 5 double stitches. Now, let's see. Susan, are you familiar with the double stitch? If you aren't, let me know. Hi, Carol. Thank you. If you are familiar with the double stitch, let me know. If not, I will show you real quick how to do it. I mean, it's the easiest thing you're going to do. The hard part is getting the flip, and I'm going to show you the easiest way to do that. I don't do anything that's hard. Life itself is hard. We don't need to add to that. Y'all believe she's still sniffing those packages? All right, we got it. We got it. We got it. All right, now we are going to join to this one. All right, here we go. We got a picot right here. Now we want to do the blipless join. Well, the first thing you're going to do is attach your 5 stitches. You're going to grab your crochet hook and you're going to pull up a loop. You're going to rest it on that finger and you're going to go down. Lay that down. You're going to pull this loop through just like you did with the Catherine wheel join, and you're going to grab the loop. Okay, here it is. Put that loop on your finger. Now you want to take up some of that slack, so try to get the slack up. There you go. Now you've got the same positioning, okay, that you had with your Catherine wheel join. The loop on the finger and this. Hi, Desiree. Now, when you've got this and you've got this, you don't have any thread in here. But what you do have is your crochet hook, and you're going to grab that thread there. Okay, let me show you that again. This is our loopy right here. This is our loop we pulled through. This is our loom thread right here. You go through this loop and grab your loom thread. Okay, take your finger out of that loop, put it behind it, and there you have it. Okay, once you have that, you take your shuttle and you go down. Then you start closing your loops. But what you've got to do is pull this one forward till it pops back through. All right, and then you play. And you play till everything is set into position. Okay, and you just keep slipping it around till it's right where it needs to be. You tighten it up. Lay it like it's supposed to. Put in 1 double stitch. And you have just completed a blipless join. And right there she is. That is your picot going through. So you see why I got confused. They're both done identically the same way. Okay? The difference is you're pulling this loop out one way and then back through. Okay? And when you pull it back through, it gets rid of the blip. Now, everybody's going to say, well, which one do you prefer? Catherine will. It's not as hard to accomplish what I'm doing. I can use the Catherine wheel in all joins. You can't the blipless join. The blipless join is only good for up joins and down joins. And if you've done it right, okay, watch. You can open your ring. You can close your ring. That is the instance with both of them, if you do it right. So now what you would do is put your 5 double stitches. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Close your ring. And remind me the next time we have a class on Catherine wheels and blipless joins that we don't do them on the same video at the same time. Okay, there you go. I like the way the Catherine wheel join looks versus, let me get it over here, this one here. I like this one. You can see this one better. I like the way this lays better than the blipless join. That's my preference. Now, for you guys in, the tatting community, y'all do you. Okay? You'll never hear me complain about you all doing you. Because it's overall, it's your work. It's your thing. I have no room to criticize or demean anything you choose to do with your tatting, and I will never do that. Okay? I will always boost you. I'll never take you down. Because every day you tat is an improvement. You may not see it, but I do. Okay? I'm fine-tuned to improvement, trust me. All right, now we're going to move all this fun stuff. I got to dismantle this purple one here because I'm going to need it. Yeah, snipping my threads. I'm snipping away. All right, now we're going to do purple and red. Let me zoom out of this thing just a hair. Okay, look, I went too far, I think. There we go. We're good. Now, for you folks that need to practice your tension, they're not in the pattern. They're available for you to use in the upcoming class patterns. Okay. You will find that there are patterns out there, Jeannie, that have, you must do a Catherine wheel join, but you can always do a regular join if you don't want to fight with it. Okay. It's one of those available techniques that can either drive you crazy or make you happy. Okay. Now, what I'm doing here, I got 2 threads. All right, folks. Now, continuous thread. We're going to do a continuous thread method type thing here. Because we're using 2 colors of thread, it'll still be continuous thread because we're not using a tail and then adding in thread. Okay. Now, what I do is a square knot, and I pull real tight to make sure the knot gets down to the smallest form that it can. Then I go to work. All right. If you're going to do a ring and a chain, which that's what we're going to do, we start with a ring. If you start on a chain, you must use some kind of a blocker, like a paper clip, a safety pin, something of that sort, so that you don't lose the chain when you pull. Okay. And then after you get your chain made, then you can take it out. Just be careful that you don't pull the chain out. Well, you can look at them, you can admire them, and then you can get scared because you think you can't do it. I'm just telling you. And I'm telling you, oh, yes, you can. I did my very first Renelec pattern when I had been tatting 6 months. It was the honey napkin. And I mean, I tatted before then, but I was a needle tatter. Okay. I'm talking shuttle tatting. And the difference between needle and shuttle on that pattern alone taught me so much. Okay. I started it in needle, and I gave up. And the reason I did, it was entirely too much work in needle to do that pattern. And I wanted it to look right in the way you had to manipulate your needle and stuff. Needles don't bend like thread. Shuttles have a shorter distance and they work with the thread. So there's the reason behind me going to shuttle. I like the look of shuttle. I don't like the look of needle. I do know how to needle tat. I don't like the look of it. It's too loose for my taste. I'm not going to use gigantic thread on a small needle and fight with it every 5 seconds. That's not my taste. When I go to tat, I want to enjoy it at my pace. And that's what I want you guys to do. We are going to do both patterns in needle. For those of you that are needle tatters, I'm going to accommodate you. Okay? But we are going to do no fancy footwork. I'm going to show you that you can do the beautiful doilies and the beautiful patterns with basic needle tatting skill. Okay? You can do any pattern in shuttle in needle. All right? So I got 4 double stitches here. Let's put the 5th one in. Now we're going to put a picot in. Okay. This is my starting point. Now I've already hid my first end. Okay, and you're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4.5. That's 5. You're going to see we got continuous thread. We just hit our ends. Okay, the only time you definitely want continuous thread without ends to hide is when you have a center ring that is 1 picot, 1 picot, 1 picot, 1. There's nowhere to hide those ends in that without it popping back through. So on that one, yes, but I will show you with these patterns that we're going to be doing how to start using 1 shuttle and then adding the 2nd shuttle in on the chain. Okay, now we got our first ring done. Now we're going to do our chain, and we're going to hide this end. This is not going to be our test pattern for tension. Okay, you're not going to do any rings on your tension test. You're going to test yourself. All right, so we're doing all traditional. Everything is traditional. You don't worry about front side, back side until you got traditional down to an art. Okay, you will learn that. Now that first half of that double stitch is a stickler. You got to snug it up really, really close to that knot, as close as you can get it, and pull. You're not going to break the thread. If you break the thread, it's old thread. Okay? Your tension's too tight. Lots of reasons that thread can break. Not just because you pulled on it. Okay? So, we got 2, 3, I always take, if I've got more than 3 stitches, I will take my tail into the 4th stitch and cut it halfway between the 1st and 2nd half of that stitch. The reason I do that, because it's not in the middle of a picot where it can work its way out. It's in the middle of a double stitch. And over time, that thread breaks apart and it all just marries very well inside there. Okay? And what I do is I move everything back. I pull that tail up and I snip real close like that. If you got a little straggler, you can always come back in there and snip some more. Don't snip your threads. You don't want to cut this thread or that thread or the thread that you're working around. All right, so let's put the 2nd half in, and that 2nd half will cover up that little snippet there. Now, here is where we are going to move into our tension. After you get rid of that tail, start working on your tension. Okay? Now what you're going to do is you're going to do 10 double stitches. You're going to go 1 in your normal tension, 2, 3, 4, 5. I gotta pull off some more thread. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, you can see where your tail ended, where you started checking your tension. Because you've got your even tension going, you're going to have a straight line. Okay? You pull it tight, it begins to put the arc in, but it'll also start those stitches to bunch up. You don't want that. What you want to do is separate your stitches. Take your finger, run it across your stitching. Now, when you run it across from where the tail ended, okay, you will see your tension as it goes to the end expands. Okay, now you can make all that tension true tension by continuing, and you can see the gap between your stitches. If that gap is consistent, your tension is consistent. But if you've got a big gap like this, and then you get a little gap like this, and then another big gap that's a different size, your tension's all over the place. Work on it. And just tat a chain. It's going to curl. It's going to do all kinds of craziness. Okay? It will drive you nuts. Okay? So remember, work that tension out. You want to consecutively have 5 tension runs, okay, that are even. You're kind of new at tatting. Well, Susan, I'm going to make you an avid tatter by summer. And you can ask anybody in the class if I can do it, and they'll tell you yeah. Because every one of them come to me and they was all new. So yeah, I can get you on the road. Have you gotten the list of the beginner videos to view? If not, Pam, you need to mail her the videos if you haven't already so that she can review them. That's fine. You're watching for today. You can view the videos. This is a free class, Susan. We don't charge for anything. Okay? Donations are gladly accepted. All right? But you have to be willing to put forth the effort. And I got news for you. In a week, you're working on a project. Okay? I have you working on a project this time next week. Well, the week after, because I'm taking next week off. But yeah, I can teach you, and it's free, and you come when you can. If you can't, you can always view the videos after class. Remember, the next day is when the chat goes up. YouTube has their thing, you know. We have to obey their rules. They own our backs. All right? So, I want you all to practice your tensioning. Now, here is rule number 1 about tatting. Either you tat every day a little bit, or every time you tat, you have 2 shuttles loaded to run a line. What I mean by run a line is you run a line of double stitches. Okay? All right, Susan, just write to Pam and then we'll get you registered, sweetie. But there is no charge, hon. No charge at all. Okay? And you don't have to have fancy tools to do this. Okay? This is called poor man's lace for a reason. All right? So I want you to remember, you either tat every day, 10 minutes a day, or you run a line every time before you even pick up your tatting, because your tension will change from day to day if you don't work with your tension every day. Now, if you are a shuttle tatter and you crochet, when you go from crochet to shuttle tatting and vice versa, your tension is going to be off on both sides. Run a line. Okay, get your tension back for that particular craft, because they don't intermingle. Okay, they just don't, not that way. So that's what you're going to do, is you're going to check your tension, work on it. The next thing I want you to do is practice your Catherine wheel joins and your blipless joins. Pam, send videos to Monica, please. Also, practice Catherine wheel joins. Pick which one you like. You don't have to memorize them both. If you like the way the Catherine wheel join finishes, use the Catherine wheel join. You don't have to use blipless join, because they both had the blips of color. That's what you want to know. If that's all you're trying to do is hide the blips of color and do onion rings pretty, Catherine wheel join is the way to go. All right. And if a pattern calls for a blipless join, do the Catherine wheel join. It's not going to hurt nothing. Okay. To each his own. All right. The other thing that I was going to do, I was going to show. Carmen, can you remind me what it was? Because I told you that today, because I was doing that specific for you. I cannot remember for the life of me. I'm thinking it was tension practice, and adding thread. That was the other thing, adding thread. Okay, folks, let me get my doohickey here. All right, we're going to pretend. Let me get out of this. Or no, we'll just do it here. We'll do it here. Oh, my nose won't quit itching. Oh, Lordy have mercy. I'm going to join this ring to here. We're just going to work this up real fast. And then all of a sudden, we're going to run out of thread. Yeah, I did the tension practice for you. So now I've got to show you how to add thread. Carmen had a bit of a problem with some thread that she pulled it to close the ring, and it broke. And it was Elizabeth thread. If you all get brittle thread from Handy Hands, and it's Elizabeth thread, call Barb. She will make it good. Okay. So we got 5 double stitches. We're just going to join to that picot there. Call it a day. Then we're going to put 5 double stitches in. Now I'm going to give you a word of advice, folks. Plan ahead for where you're adding your thread. That rhymes. Remember that rhyme. Plan ahead where you're adding thread. Want to know why? Because if you add it in the wrong place, you got nowhere to hide your ends. Okay? So we got 4 and 5. All right, we're going to close that ring. And if it's twisting, you got to let it, the twisties out. It's got to do the twist. I think it's stuck back when they had the twist as a popular dance. You know, I'm just saying. Now, we are going to pretend like this is all the thread that I have on this purple shuttle. Right here. And I've got to make this chain, and I've got 3 more rings to go. Oh, Lord, what am I going to do? Well, the first thing we're going to do is reverse our work. Okay? Once we reverse our work, we're going to start doing our chain. Now, remember, we're still working traditional. So we're putting in 6 double stitches, right? And a picot and 6 double stitches. Well, that's 3 double stitches. 4, 5, 6, Oh Lord, we're getting low on the thread. Will I make it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now you remember the tatting journals. This is where those come in handy. I've got 12 double stitches. I'm working with size 10 thread. 12 double stitches fits almost at an inch of thread. So you can pretty much calculate what you're going to need for that last chain. But we're going to do another ring, okay? And before we close that ring, we're going to add our thread, okay? So wrap our hand for our ring loom, and we're going to put in 6. Is it 6 or 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me double count that. No, that was 6. I thought it was. I'm getting them legs involved with them waistbands there, you know. Story of my life. Let's let that drop and get the twisters out. There we go. Come on, do the twist. All right. Got 4 more to go. 5 more. 5 more. 4 more. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, here's what you're going to do. You're going to close that ring partially. Okay? Lay everything out like it's supposed to go. Now this purple thread is just a twisted sister. It's just going to go all over the map. Let it do its thing. Now we want to add in, how about we add in this color? So you can see the difference. Now what you're going to do, because this gives you something for that thread to bite to when you add it in. Drop it down through that ring. Okay? Pull you quite a considerable size tail and close that ring. If it twists, remove the twist. Okay? And keep closing that ring. Close that ring good and tight till you cannot see that green thread at all. Okay? It's in there. It's locked in. You see? And it's wrapped around the core thread. All right? Now what you're going to do is you are going to snip some ends. All right? You're going to snip some ends. Get all that loose thread out of your way. Reverse your work. Okay? Get that purple thread where it's supposed to go, and the green thread is our chain thread. Wrap our hand for a chain. Now, folks that have arthritis, the first few stitches may be painful. I will warn you, because you've got to really tighten down on that. Why do you have to tighten down? Because you've got to make sure that you break these tails off where it doesn't show. And the way to do that is to say that 3 times in a row. Tat super tight, okay? So you do your first half. You pull your tails through, both of them. Bring it down. Work it all the way down to that ring. Okay? Get everything in the pinch. Do the second half of that double stitch. Work them tails back through. Okay? Pull it down. Okay? Pull it tight. Pull it tight. You got to work it all in. Get it in there. First half of the next stitch. Come on, get in there. Usually my tails aren't that long, but I left them long so you could see how we're working them through. You want that stitch to flip and bring it back up through. And you're just following that core thread, okay? That's all you're doing is following the core thread. Come on. There we go. We got it. I don't think it did. It twisted on me. You gotta quit twisting. This purple is going to drive me to drinking, that's for sure. And I don't drink. I'm just saying. Well, I do drink coffee. Come on. I'm going to lose these tails real fast, folks. Real fast. I'm cutting them off because I don't like fighting with something that long. You see how I handle things? First double stitch. Let's get that second stitch in. If I have to fight with it, it takes the joy out of it. And you will too over time learn that. Okay, we're coming down. Pull it tight. Every time you put a double stitch in, you pull the double stitch tight this way and tight this way. Bring in that second half. Okay. Get back over there. And pull them tails back up. Now, you're going to drop a tail. After this stitch, you put in the first half of the next double stitch. Okay? And we are going to drop that purple tail. Okay? Pull it out away from everything. Snip it off close. Drop it out of the way. Continue on for 2 more stitches. Second half of this stitch comes in here. Okay. Put in another stitch. And a half of the first half of the double stitch. And then snip that one off. Now you can loosen back up to your natural tension at this point. I'm going to put in 3 double stitches and show you what it looks like. And there you go. We have tied in the end. We have sewn the end in with our tatting. Okay? And no tails to show. How cool is that? Okay? You can also make a slip knot, run it up on the tail, okay, to as close to the stitch as possible and pop it in. If you do that, warning, 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 you are going to have a dose of gaposis. All right? You don't want gaposis. So let me switch back to the other camera. So, how much confusion did I cause today? See how easy it is when you break it down? I mean, to bare bones. You've got to learn tatting bare bones. Make it simple. There's a saying called KISS, and I know a lot of you older generation have heard it. Keep it simple, stupid. That means keep it simple. Don't look at it as it's taxing. It's not. It's easier than you think, okay? You can do this. I guarantee you, if I can do it, you can do it. Because I'm as thick as wood up here. Okay, things don't sink in. I never learned to knit because I couldn't understand what a knit or a purl was. Okay? It has to be down to earth, bare bones, simple, or I'm not going to get it. I'm a very deep visual learner. Okay? My husband talks tech to me all day long, and I'm, huh? You got to be kidding. I have no idea what you're saying. Okay? So there you go. Yeah, it makes a smoother transition. And it stops that gaposis. So when you go to add thread, you may lose a piece of thread about this long in the end shot, but it's worth it. Okay. Save your thread ends, okay, in a cup. All right. There are quilters out there looking for threads, scrap thread, and they use it to make sewing hams. Okay. If y'all know a quilter and they make hams, tell them. You'll save your ends for them. All right. If you want, you can cut them down really super small. I mean, really super small. Set them on the ledge of your porch. The birds will come and make nests with it, and you'll have very colorful nests all over the place. But make sure those threads are tiny, like this, okay? Because you don't want it to wrap around their little necks or the baby's necks, okay? It can hurt them. It's easier after the flip. That way, when you get the flip, it'll feed right through. After the first initial step, stitch, it automatically will follow the core. I just had way too much tail, but I was trying to show you how it feeds through. That's okay, Jeannie. Just make sure they're really cut small. Okay. The needle tips and your crochet hook goes right through. What do you do? I don't understand the question, Monica. All right, Teresa, drive safe. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Love you. Okay. Try to explain it a little bit better, Monica. Yeah, tying in your ends is easy. Sewing in your ends is easy. Using those thread helpers, the magic thread loop, yeah, not so easy. The needle tip covers I put on the crochet hook. These things, where are they at? Oh, I got one here. This is a bead. It's a silicone bead. I got it from a bead shop, a silicone bead shop on Etsy. You just look for silicone beads, and they slide on, and sometimes they do go through. You just have to get the right sized ones. I bought a whole slew of them. Okay. I also have, let's see. I have to think for a minute where everything's at, because I've been moving stuff because we're packing. See, I've got roses like this. That's a silicone. That's a vintage, folks. That was my great aunt's tatting pin. It's an actual tatting pin. It's not a crochet hook. So, yeah. And that one will stab you. It's that tiny. I've never seen one that small before. But the little silicone caps for knitting needles, you can use them. But see, they have to be at least an inch tall, Monica, in order for them to grab the whole hook, because you've got to get it down there where the fatter part is of the hook for it to go in. See, this one, it went through. But what I do is I pull it up to just where the hook comes to the top of it. As long as the base is caught, it'll be fine. You can also run a little bit of Scotch tape down here to tighten that up. Okay. So, what else? What else we got, folks? What else? Now, one thing we will be making before we get to the tatting stage, I want you all to get you some embroidery needles. You don't want the sharp points. You want the dull points. I got one in here. I know I do. Nope, that's not an embroidery needle. Are you an embroidery needle? Yeah. You can use these great big jumbo embroidery needles, or you can get the smaller ones. Either one is fine. We're going to make a tail with some beads on here for y'all to use them to pick out your stitches. It's just something pretty for us to have. Okay? So we're going to make one of those before we get into our tatting. Okay? But it must be an embroidery needle dull point. Okay? And it can be any size. All right? But we're going to make one. And that's to pick our stitches out, because we're working on such a large project. You're going to tear it up. You keep digging it with a crochet hook. Okay, so we're going to make us a pick. And it's a dull pointed pick. Okay? And we call them a picker. And we make them out of sewing needles, the embroidery needles. Yeah, Amazon store has some. The ones on the Amazon store is the ones that I bought personally. And I got one here on a pair of scissors. Tiny pair of scissors. See? And they're little. So there you go. Any more questions, folks? Now, just because I'm not going to be having class next week doesn't mean I'm not available to answer questions, should you have any. You can use 20 or 10. It doesn't matter. Okay? Pattern calls for a size 20, but you can use a size 10 if you want. Okay? It's what you're comfortable with. You can go up one size or down one size on your thread with any tatting pattern without having to adjust your stitch count. Okay? Anything else? Anything else? So next week, no class. Okay? We'll be back the next week. We're going to do a couple of patterns, and we're also going to make our pick. Because we have, how many more weeks? Let me see. How many more weeks do we have before our tat and chat? We'll have the week of the 16th and the week of the 23rd before the tat and chat. You're welcome. You're welcome, Brenda. Awesome. I'll be using what you can see on camera. I'll be running it in two forms, needle and shuttle, and I will be using size 10. Now what I've got is I've got a whole bag full of shuttles loaded. So they're going to be, I'll be showing you how to tie in ends all the way through there, because I'm just cleaning off shuttles. So that y'all can see what we're doing. I'm going to just be cleaning off the shuttles is all it is. I'm anxious to see what it's going to look like when it's done. It's going to be colorful, that's for sure. So I'll tat it up in the colors that I want later. I always tat her patterns 2 or 3 times. I just love her patterns. So if there is no more questions, I will see you all a week from Tuesday. We will be returning for classes on the 17th of March. Okay? That, my dears, is St. Patty's Day. All right, Desiree. Well, I'll be working. Oh, yeah, Jan's my favorite. I've got all of his patterns, even the ones in the Robotki magazines. I bought all of those. So I have all of his patterns. I guess that's how you say it. I'm sure I'm wrong. I do good to not mutilate the English language. I'm just saying. No, I want you to practice the last two classes, the techniques. I want you to practice them. You're going to do the monster dolly after the class. I keep saying I'm going to do it before I die, so I'm afraid to start it. But I will eventually do it. I've got my thread. It'll probably dry rot it before I get to use it. So, all right, folks, if there's no more questions, I will see you March 17th. Y'all have a wonderful rest of the week. And if you got any questions, do definitely contact me. I'll answer them. Well, Jeannie, if there's enough people that's got the pattern and they're just procrastinating it, maybe we could just do a class to the side like we're doing Renelex after we get through with Renelex. Because it seems you all really like these tagalongs. And I can't say I blame you. All right. I'm going to end it, and I will see you when we come back on the 17th. All right. If you got questions, remember, send them to me. I will answer them maybe later in the day because we'll be getting up with the chickens to go over to storage. It's a 10 by 10 and it's packed full. I still got stuff from the house in there. So, yeah. By the way, you new students, I live full time in an RV, and we've been parked now for quite some time. We're fixing to move. So, with that said, I will see you on the 17th. Y'all have a good one. I love y'all. Take care. Stay safe. And I'll see you on the 17th. And may all your threads make beautiful lace. Happy tatting, everyone. Have a good one. Bye-bye.